In the know, non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
I was just telling someone earlier, it's just like Michael Jordan and the Detroit Pistons. You know, they try to take out the best player, try to put as much physical abuse that they can on them. Yeah, I kind of feel that way. You know, people in on those defenses that we're facing, they try whatever it takes for me not to get those big plays, for me not to you know, set the offense up to get more and more yards. So, I mean, I feel like it's happening more and more every game, but it is what it is when you're this type of player.
As impressed as I am with Justin Jefferson's historical knowledge of the National Basketball Association.
I know.
Pretty good. He's referencing late 80s Eastern Conference playoff rivalry games.
I wonder, too, how much, though, like, because, like, when 30 for 30s first came out, like, 12 years ago, and I was, like, a sophomore, junior, senior in high school, like, I learned so much about that era of before me because I never learned any of that stuff, and I wonder if that's the same for JJ, too.
It's Last Dance.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. He probably watched that like 8 times. There's no way that you're as talented as him and wouldn't be completely enthralled.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you want. And
I love
Jordan,
it, man.
I mean, Jordan is just a master of like owning things. And so, yeah.
Put it on me. Yeah.
I bet he watched that like 8. That being said, I am incredibly impressed by him. Like, everything he does publicly
he's so
is
mature
impressive.
and he doesn't throw tantrums like some other receivers historically have. He's not like Randy Moss was this crazy freak talent,
right?
That needed like 10 years to mature. Like, if you could take the Randy Moss that we kind of, you know, that he became later in his life and as a broadcaster, and the maturity, and blend it with, it's almost like Jefferson is 10 years maturity and emotional intelligence beyond what his age would say.
It's pretty clear. I get the impression, and that this would be fun to talk to him about. I get the impression he has studied superstars, not receivers, superstars. He seems like he's studied Jordan. He seems like he's gone to school on Kobe. And he was at the Wolves game last night and talked to Bally's. And he was talking about, you know, he's friends with some players, blah, blah, blah. But he really seems like a guy who has gone to school on how superstars act.
Yeah.
Because he carries himself in a way that goes way beyond like receivers. Because you're right, receivers they're a tricky lot. Like, their life is ordinarily dependent on their quarterback, and then they think that they're great, but then if they aren't playing with the right guy, they're not great. I think Jefferson holds himself more and talks more like a basketball star.
That's why I study Skip Bayless, just so this show can be elevated to the next level. Yeah, I study every sentence. I study Rex all of
Ryan.
His hot, controversial take. You study Rex Ryan?
Yeah, because I love to talk about feet just like Rex does.
Oh, God.
Can I admit something? Actually, I'm going to admit something in just a moment here after we shout out our friends at TCL for helping sponsor the show.
It's a podcast, Declan, okay?
TCL has award-winning TVs for any budget, any space, all with stunning picture quality. TCL makes more than just TVs. They offer mobile products, audio devices, home appliances. It's not too late to go into a major retailer and get a TCL TV for a loved one for the holidays or for yourself. Just treat yourself. Yeah, have an extra TV to watch these. There's too many fourth quarter comebacks. You're going to need extra TVs. So check them out, TCL.com. And happy holidays from our friends at Surly, who have been helping us through this ridiculously fun Viking season so far.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Every week. So here's the thing. The Vikings can and have won games, but they take quarters off at a time. Things don't go well. Then they go well, blah, blah, blah. You know what's the team that shows up for each and every quarter, for each and every weekend, no buys? Surly Brewing. Surly Brewing shows up and they say, ho, 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 we've got Furious. Ho, 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 we've got Logic Bomb. Before I Die. Just go down the list. I've seen a few of the new brands also being tweeted our way. Just fantastic beers for any occasion, especially the holiday season. Drink responsibly, but that being said, also show us your cans if you are sipping on a Surly. At Jay Zolgad, at Score North. We'd love to see how much you enjoy the official beer of Purple Daily.
I'm waiting for
Dex-
your. No. I'm waiting for your admission here.
Oh, you already took a deep breath there.
I'm preparing myself.
We have plenty more Justin Jefferson discussion coming here because it's Feedback Friday on a Thursday based on the Vikings schedule, and we're gonna read later on the show here. I have saved a bunch of the comments that came in through the Score North app in the first half of that Vikings game. We're gonna read some of those emotional takes from you guys.
Okay.
And we're going to decipher if there's any truth to any of those things now that we know how the game played out. But my admission to you guys is about twice a year, old Macadac gets himself a pedicure.
Yeah.
And yesterday was the day. The pre-holiday, end of the year, little calf massage.
Yeah.
Little foot massage.
I've never done it.
Clip up the nails.
Mm-hmm.
No color needed for Macadac. But I just want you to know that you bring up your Rex Ryan foot fetish joke, okay? Mm-hmm. I like to get pedicures a couple times a year. It was a great day yesterday.
I've always been open to doing it. I just have never done it. It sounds amazing, to be honest. Like, it sounds nice.
I mean, you got someone massaging your calves and your feet and making sure everything is, they'll scrub down the rough edges too, so your feet are all smooth.
I've never gotten it done. Probably won't ever either.
We could have guessed that.
I don't understand the foot thing, though, so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, well, let's just say that you would enjoy my feet much more today than you would have a couple days ago, thanks to the pedicure place down the street.
I just don't get the whole feet thing.
I'll explain it to you sometime. Let's get into some Feedback Friday questions on a Thursday. You can always hit us up through the Score North app. You can hit us up Twitter, YouTube comment section. There's plenty of places where we monitor comments. We'll get to as many as we can, and a random Viking of the week. Ryan McGinnis says, with all the MVP talk, do you guys think could actually win a receiver the first receiver MVP award? This sentence is a little butchered, Ryan, but we'll let it slide. In my mind, with it being such a quarterback award at this point, and not even Cooper Kupp won it last year after being such a force, I believe a receiver would have to do the following: win the Triple Crown while breaking Michael Thomas's 149 reception record, breaking Calvin Johnson's yardage records, which JJ might do, and breaking Randy Moss's 23 touchdown receptions record. I believe the bar is that high for a receiver to snag the MVP award, and at this point, they're probably just going to go they're probably going against their quarterback as well, who would be in the mix, which is like Kirk and Justin Jefferson are both among the top 8 MVP odds guys right now. Mm-hmm. What do you think it would take?
I think that's probably correct. Unfortunately, do I think it should take that much? No, I don't. I just don't see. I understand Jalen Hurts has had a great year. I understand that Patrick Mahomes will always, probably as long as he plays, be in this race. So I think the statement of what it would take is probably correct. The fact that Cooper Kupp, I think he got, if I'm not mistaken, 1 vote last year, and now, just to be clear, the voting has changed for the first time. It's going to be like baseball now. So it's going to be like a first, second, and third place vote. Previously, it was 50 people voting from the media, and they would just mark one name. Now it's going to be like a ballot. So that's going to get Jefferson more points. I just don't understand how you can claim that everyone gets to be involved in this and then not have Jefferson be a very serious contender.
Remember in 2012 when Percy was getting, was it 2012 or 2011 that Percy was getting significant love for the MVP award on the Vikings side, and he was doing
Peterson. So
well, yeah, AP was 2012, so it was probably, which was weird because the Vikings
11
were
they got
terrible.
Was Percy Harvin really an MVP candidate?
He was getting early MVP. He was like the dark horse MVP halfway through the season because he was just off to a ridiculous start because he was getting the football in all sorts of ways. But it seems so difficult. If Cooper Kupp last year didn't get it and really only got 1 vote, to Judd's point, like, it is going to have to take a monumental, not just record-breaking season of receptions, receiving yards, a season that we haven't even come close to seeing.
JJ's capable of it. He's not there yet, and the touchdowns are a big thing. So, he only has 7 touchdowns. Moss had the 23, in part because that was the 07 season with Brady that he had 23.
The perfect
they went undefeated.
The Giants game.
And part of it was you could just send that version of Randy Moss straight down the field and he would just catch touchdowns over the top of guys. And JJ's a little bit more of an intermediate route runner. He's not the go down the field and we'll just throw a jump ball to you guy, or go in the back of the end zone, we'll throw a fade to the back pylon, because he's not 6'4". But in terms, could I see him catching 150 passes at some point and breaking Michael Thomas's record? I could.
Yep.
Hell, he's going to catch 130 to 140 if he gets 8 to 10 a game for the last 3 games. He may not play in the last game, and we'll get to that too. But I generally agree that for it to actually happen, you probably have to break at least 2 records, if not all 3.
So my candidates for this right now would be Hurts, great year, deserving. Mahomes, because he's just unbelievable. But like if I had to do a third right now, I think it's Jefferson. MVP to me means you are above and beyond. Like you are, it is, your team doesn't just benefit, you're having an incredible year. I have seen enough Bills games. Josh Allen's a very good quarterback. He does not belong with Jefferson, in my opinion, in the 2022 MVP race. That doesn't mean, like, we've fallen into this trap of, well, if you take Josh Allen off the Bills, so every year he's going to be a candidate. That's not how I perceive this award. I perceive this award as seasons that are unbelievable and incredible. Last year, I think Josh showed something that he now has to be held to that standard. So I'm not saying a year from now Justin Jefferson is. But for 2022, are you telling me, are you really saying that, well, I mean, it's got to be 4 quarterbacks or 5 and then Jefferson? I can't go down that path. I don't agree with it.
Yeah, it's so hard because obviously quarterback is the most valuable position. If you take any quarterback, there's a dearth of good quarterbacks. And so if you take any quarterback off a team, that you're going to put some slappy backup in. I get it. There's fewer of them. Right. They touch the ball on every play. So they are the most valuable players in the NFL largely. But if you just want to go off the argument of the Vikings are winning all these close games, Justin Jefferson and Kirk as well, but Justin Jefferson is just the constant guy making huge plays, keeping the Vikings close, bringing the Vikings back, making the catch against Buffalo with the one hand, right? But he'll need to break at least Calvin Johnson's receiving yards record. He'd have to have like 30. What's the math? He'd have to have like 40 catches in the last 3 weeks to get the receptions record. But here's one from Drew V. Score North's greatest strength is getting ahead of the curve and discussing potential tough decisions before they happen. And he lists some examples. You guys talked about trading Carlos Correa. You guys talked about signing Brett Favre way back in the day. Tim Connolly. What about this one? Week 18, Jefferson is 150 yards shy of 2,000 to be the first receiver to ever get 2,000 yards. The Vikings have the number 2 playoff seed locked up already going into Week 18. Do the Vikings play the starting offense, as this would be an amazing record and important to Justin Jefferson, or does KOC rest his guys anyway? What would you do?
So KOC, Seifert asked KOC about this a couple days ago in his press conference, and he said Justin Jefferson will fight me tooth and nail every inch of the way about this. But what I do personally, I would sit him. I'm not going to take the chance. Not in Chicago. Yeah. As Doug said, the park board is in charge of that field. Okay, the park board. That's like the park down the street from me here is run by my park board. Okay,
why is that? By the way,
Chicago,
NFL football field.
Exactly why they're going to move to a new dome stadium and get a Super Bowl in Arlington Heights, Illinois. But I would not play him or Kirk, and I would not play my starters if I would rest as many of my starters as possible. I'm a playoff team.
Yeah,
I have designs. If this team goes one and done now, fairly, it's going to be a disappointment. Like we're a long ways from where we were in July. So yes, in that game, in that environment, cold out, bad field, things can go wrong, ankles can get twisted. Jefferson is already taking hits that the head coach finds objectionable, and I don't blame him. It's not a tough one. I rest him.
Yeah, it's an easy rest for me too. That's going to be a Nick Mullins game for sure at this point. The weird thing is if the 49ers, like I said, stumble, and that just creates the easier out by the Bears game of like, all right, we are locked into 2, then it's for sure. It's a foregone conclusion in my opinion. But if they're tied, because obviously if the records are the same, right, the Niners get the 2 seed because of the conference record. So you got to hope the Vikings obviously don't stumble here against the Giants or the Packers with the Niners breathing down their necks. But Vikings kind of control their own destiny at this point. They win the next 2. I like their chances of just resting starters against the Bears in the finale.
Yeah, if there's anything to play for whatsoever, then you just play the game the way that you would. And I don't think you're hunting for records at this point. When they were out of it last year and they had nothing to play for, and Mike Zimmer still didn't make it an emphasis to get Justin Jefferson, he needed 15 more yards. He needed that, and even Kirk. It's like, dude, JJ's wide open in the end zone. There's nothing to play for here today. Find the guy for a record-breaking touchdown. He will break Randy Moss's Vikings receiving record if he gets 9 yards this weekend. So that can just be cleared off your plate just in the first quarter. So I'm not hunting records. The only thing that matters is playoff success. So if you can sneak an extra bye weekend, week 18, rest some guys up, get Bradbury's back healthier, Zadarius Smith's knee, just make sure Justin Jefferson doesn't get hurt. It's an easy decision for me. Tristan via the YouTube comment section says, Judd, I could definitely see you being a great drunk mall Santa someday if things go south. Have you ever considered this career change?
A little bad Santa there. A little Billy Bob.
Hold on. Ho, 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 Tristan.
That's
ho,
mildly unsettling.
Yeah,
weird.
I could see it. I could grow the beard out. Yeah,
you could grow the beard out. Yeah. You could do it.
It's been a while since you've had the full, basically since you lost all the weight, you stopped growing the big beard.
Yep. I think was that a pandemic thing too? Just you were at home. You never leave the house anyway, whether it was the pandemic or not the pandemic. So
I try not to leave the house or get the door.
Which is tough this time of year. Yesterday, I guess I would say my wife's parents, my in-laws, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law. I don't know why I have a hard time with that math, that family math. They sent us a crate of wine at the door yesterday. So I'll answer the door. If you want to give a crate of wine or crate of Surly or something.
Hi, everybody.
But if you're just knocking on the door for random reasons. Boys, we're about to get into the comments from the first half of the Colts game section of Feedback Friday here. But before we do, I got a note from someone yesterday via the Score North app, just kind of raving about Chanhassen dinner theaters and saying it is a great date night. The Chan chicken is everything that it is talked up to be, and I can contest. I can confirm. Chanhassen dinner theater, great date night during the holidays.
That's right. And guess what, too? So, guys, it's Sports Dad. It's Sports Santa Claus here. And right now, Christmas is coming and the goose is getting fat. And you don't have a present for the gal yet. And this is a problem because she's starting to get suspicious. What'd you get me? I got the answer. Yeah, it's a couple days before Christmas, but you know what? It's Phil just said it is a gift card to the Chanhassen dinner theaters. And before you say a gift card, Judd, that's not personal enough. Guess what this is? This isn't just a gift card. This is a promise of date night, a promise of a great time with you and your gal. And it lets you pick what you want to see. And there is something for everyone. A big splashy musical. Let's say Jersey Boys, Footloose. Okay, that's awesome. She'll love that. How about that concert series? Tribute concerts, everything from the Eagles to Fleetwood Mac, Patsy Cline, Sinatra. Finally, if you like comedy, there's the comedy improv show with Stevie Ray's, which is a blast. And as Phil also said, you can get the dinner as well. So this date night, you're not only laughing, you're not only drinking a little bit of wine and having fun, but you're enjoying the famous chicken chan. You're enjoying a prime rib. You're enjoying a steak.
You're going to narrate the whole night for us, Zolgad?
This simple. Now, I'm trying to help people out here, damn it. Santa Claus is trying to help. 952-934-1525, ChanhassenDT.com, ChanhassenDT.com. Now you're out of the doghouse and you're at the Chanhassen Dinner Theaters.
And then you launch a business and you're going down the road and you're building your business.
With your gal.
Okay.
With your gal, it's a family business.
Got to be careful mixing business with family. Just be careful with that. But you got your business and you're looking to maximize the success of your business. And that's where Federated comes in. With over 100 years of experience, they're based in Owatonna, Minnesota. They are one of us, so to speak, founded in 1904. And they're all about, it's basically having a great offensive line for your business. It's like having a great sleigh for your Santa. I don't know. It's a great guiding hand,
I like it,
if you will, at Federated. So check them out. You can check out a full list of industries that they protect, and you can see more about the resources they provide at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. Let's look back at comments that came into the show here via the Score North app during the first half of the Colts game. The greatest comeback in NFL history. Unbeknownst to these commenters at the time of the comments. So I'm going to read through some of these. You just tell me, is there any truth? I mean, they did fall behind 33-0. So you can't just do that. It's not gonna work out well for you. Is you tell me if there's any truth to some of these or if it was just emotional anger. Chris says, I have spent the season firmly in the Vikings are not frauds camp. I've defended this team through all its highs and lows for 40 years. But as I type this at halftime of the Colts game, I just have to say, wow, the Vikings are indeed a bunch of frauds.
That probably speaks for what percentage of Vikings fans at halftime.
Craig says this at halftime of the Colts game. I have been a fan for well over 50 years. I am finally done, no matter the outcome of this game. I turned the game off before the first quarter ended. Minnesota teams are nothing but failures in my life.
Wow. I wonder if I wonder when he saw the final score.
Do you think he has yet? Do you think he has?
He's like, I'm so mad at the Vikings. They're like, what? They came back and won. What?
Mike says, it's time to, again, during the first half of the Colts game, it's time to start the rebuild for next year. Obviously, they should keep trying to win, but let's get some reps for Ty Chandler, maybe Jalen Naylor, or whatever rookies we have to start, and start setting the free agents. It's clear we are too flawed to go all the way. Let's just get a jump on next year. Would you start tanking games at this point?
That's a tough one, man.
David comments during the first half of the Colts game. My prediction, Vikings lose all remaining games. Lloyd, watching the Vikings barn burn down. It's unfortunate when you begin to believe what the media is saying about you. The Vikings body language tells the story. Sad. Keith says, Kevin O'Connell, I think we need to pump the brakes on him being a home run coaching hire. He has been outcoached several times this year and has not had his team prepared for critical games. Our defense is such a joke. I believe we will get bounced out first round. We are frauds. I do not want to hear any more about this team making noise. They need to blow this team up next year.
I will say this for that comment. I am curious about the first round playoff game.
Yeah, of course. I agree.
Like, I don't disagree with that point. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Paul, during the first half of the Colts game, says, I think the Vikings are frauds. Can they still make the playoffs as a wild card team? Because they aren't winning another game. Either the Lions or Packers are going to win the division. This might be a good thing because then they can make the decision to blow everything up like you guys thought they should have last year. Excuse me, I'm going to throw up.
Yeah.
Eugene, no more Cousins. Enough of this team. Sorry, there's no punctuation. No more Cousins. Enough. This team is dead on arrival. Oh, man.
And don't forget, we here at Score North fired up the old vent line at halftime, basically buying into everything that you just read.
I know. I think it's just kind of fun to go back. Well, our reactions are on the record forever. Like, we're not taking that video and episode down. It's all up there. Like, everything we talked about is up there.
Oh my God.
And then I think this is one from after the game, but Derek Vetter says, it's just hitting me, the full gravity of the Colts game. I turned off my TV mid-second quarter because I was sickened by this team and missed the greatest comeback in NFL history, a game that will be talked about for decades. My favorite damn team was on the winning end of a 33-point comeback, and I didn't watch it. My memory of this game will always be just that I missed it, not the moments of excitement and the drama, but the fact that I was a bad enough fan to turn it off. I stayed for the whole miracle game, even with a 6-hour drive that turned into like 8 hours because of the snow that night. So I should have known, but poor Derek.
Well, Derek, but don't, Derek, it's okay. Because first of all, the miracle game, the Vikings blew the lead, but in that case, they had a lead and it wasn't like it was impossible to come back. 33 points. I can't blame you a lot, dude. That's a different thing to me.
he just kind of moved on with his life. I think maybe for future reference, Derek, I might check the score about an hour after I turn the game off, just to make sure for future.
Probably a good idea.
I think the best thing,
just check the score.
Yeah, check the score, and I think the best thing might be to turn the old DVR on, just in case.
Do you still have to turn the DVR on?
Oh,
I do. I
So-
set my DVR.
my brother-in-law is incredibly unplugged from social medias, score alerts, push notifications. I honestly applaud him. And he is because he has 3 kids and he operates on his own little schedule. So he always DVRs games, like very, very, very rarely DVRs any sporting event and watches it live. And there's sometimes he will text me like, hours after, like he's watching the game second quarter. But because this comeback happened, I just couldn't respond to him because he was like this. He was texting me like hours after that. Like, this is such a joke, like 33-0. And like, I didn't want because there's no giveaway. Like the giveaway is stay along. And he stuck with it apparently. And then eventually had to come back because he did turn it off. And then I think
he watched it. He watched the replay of it and turned the replay of it off.
Yes. And then eventually figured out that, holy crap, wait a minute. What? They came all the way back.
So he kept watching then.
Yes. It was just incredible.
I don't mean to be a jerk here, but I would ask him not to text me. Like, it's like, if you want to live in your own cocoon, dude,
he rarely does. He rarely does.
But I would say don't text me about this crap.
And not to throw Brother Liam under the bus. Brother Liam still does not understand that fact, even though he's been our brother-in-law for over half my lifetime at least. Yeah. So like he'll still talk about live sporting events. Like Liam, like don't bring up to Tom that this already happened because he hasn't seen the game yet.
That's a Tom problem.
It is kind of a Tom problem.
I'm a Liam guy here.
It's a very selfish thing my brother-in-law does. Don't get me wrong. It's very selfish.
So
on his
why
end.
are you like, dude? You either keep up in real time.
But if Brother Liam knows that Tom does not like to watch live games, then you're also self-sabotaging yourself here because you're going to just spoil the game for our loving brother-in-law. Just saying.
But he watch the game.
I think with sports,
Brother Liam and I.
If you're outside the live window for sports, it's on you at that point.
Yeah.
It's on you.
This whole thing of don't tell me the score. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like, how do you avoid it? Yeah. All right, some back to our regularly scheduled Feedback Friday here.
Golf Family Daily.
Yeah. So Rick Sosa, noted Vikings Twitter personality and podcaster Rick Sosa via Twitter says, "We have a winner for biggest Kirk Cousins 180-degree turn," and he posts a screenshot. I don't remember tweeting this. I must have been hacked. My account has been compromised. Elon Musk. I tweeted on January 10th at 9:19 a.m. This is after they hired KOC and Kwesi. So what happens with Kirk Cousins now? I can tell you this. There is, and I emphasized with stars on each end of the word, 0 chance a new GM and coach combo walks in and says, let's extend Kirk for 3 more years and attach our careers to him. So he's getting traded.
I got one of those last night from someone too.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. I was not tweeting. I was off Twitter in January. I don't know what people are talking about. In fairness, they did not sign him for 3 years. They signed him for 1 more year. So they sort of hedged, and they were exploring trading him. We know they had phone calls with the Colts and some other
Panthers
teams.
laughed.
Panthers laughed in their face.
Panthers laughed.
Where does this one rank on the old tweets exposed meter?
Probably pretty good.
10 being quit your career embarrassment. 1 being
it's a 6.
It's a 6. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's a 6.
Okay.
Mine's a 6 too. Yeah, it's just a 6.
This one's. Well, what did you tweet? What did someone throw back?
I tweeted something like, "It's time to cut ties. It's not that hard." It was my whole thing that the team needed to move on from Cousins and turn over the roster.
I think the biggest issue people have with us from our conversations then was we didn't think that a new coach would get a whole lot more out of Cousins. That's where we were the most wrong. Mm-hmm. And Kevin O'Connell has done a brilliant job, especially, it's funny because like overall Kirk's numbers are down, but his performance when they need it most, his high leverage performance and mindset. And I would assume in large part because of just the partnership he has with KOC, unlocking certain parts of his sports psyche, he's playing at a level we haven't seen in his career. And we've laid out the stats basically every Thursday on State of the Offense. And so absolutely a new coach came in and has done what we thought was not possible, which is to get Kirk to a new level. Now let's see it in the playoffs. Let's see, like you said, if they lay an egg in the first round of the playoffs, then it's kind of like, all right, well, he took some steps in the regular season. And if it's like on him, if he has a disaster game or something, right?
Yep.
If he slings it around and the defense can't keep up, then that's a different narrative. But there's still some key things to play out here, and so I would like to see. January is the most important time for what do you guys have, what don't you? But yes, a former Cousins Crusader, name shall not be posted, apparently, chimes in, says, love your show. I drive all the time for work. You guys are my favorite podcast. I am a former Cousins Crusader. I loyally defended the guy for 3 years during both his time in Washington and the first couple of years in Minnesota. I am also a former stat nerd, but all I care about now is wins. I love what KOC is getting out of Cousins. I could not care less about Kirk's stats. I think maybe now Kirk also cares less about stats. Quick memory about Kirk. A few years ago, the Vikings were at midfield with a couple seconds left in the first half. I think it was against the Lions in 2019, but don't quote me on that. Cousins threw the ball away on a Hail Mary. I remember this. I don't remember the game, but he definitely threw the ball away on a Hail Mary to end the half. And a former NFL player on another podcast suggested Kirk did that to protect his oh-so-precious touchdown to interception ratio. I could never see Kirk doing this under Kevin O'Connell now.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's an interesting – I remember the play. That's an interesting comment, though. I didn't think of it that way at the time.
Somebody else here. Let me find this one quick. This is from Mike T. It's our guy, 90% mental MN. I have a theory on Kirk's late game success this year and how it actually harmonizes with his empty fourth quarter stats of previous years. Kirk plays tight when he feels there's something to protect or feels pressure. He struggles earlier in games anytime the score is close. He plays like he doesn't want to be the reason why the team loses. And he has talked about that being his ethos of like he doesn't want to make the big mistake that loses a game. Late in games, if we are down, he knows he has nothing to protect. He wouldn't be the reason we lose the game. You're already losing, right? So he plays looser. I think you'll notice if we are up by multiple scores, he plays tighter, worried that he could screw things up. This explains the empty stats during his career and the late game heroics this year. It seems a contributing factor is that many teams play defense differently when they have a lead, something we always got upset at Zimmer for. They took the pressure off and allowed teams to get back in the game. The lesson, we were probably better off in the playoffs not getting off to a big lead because good teams will keep putting the pressure on our defense and won't play stupid on offense. I agree with some of this. I do think there's a certain, like, once you can get Kirk to play a little more loosey-goosey, he thrives. And you've seen that late in games this year and some last year. And I do think he tightens up a little bit. If there's a chance he could be the reason why they lose, if there's something to protect, he does go into conservative mode more, and the offense will disappear. I agree with some of this.
The clutch gene to me, though, has been the impressive step, right? Like the fourth quarter clutch gene that we did not see for like his first 2 years here, and which has become the last 2 years the norm. And what, 7 fourth quarter comebacks this season, or fourth quarter winning drives. Yes, previously I agree. And yes, when you're down by 33, you have nothing to lose at that point. But across the board, I would have agreed almost completely with that sentiment until this season. And it feels like it goes beyond that now, though, because there are definitely predicaments that he has been in throughout the course of this year where he could, one wrong move could lose an opportunity to win close games, and he's still done a good job. So prior to this year, I agree completely, but I think the switch that is flipped in 2022 goes beyond that too.
There's been definitely like some pre-Kevin O'Connell blips with his fourth quarter comebackness. But to me that's like the holy grail of a quarterback. You need him to bail you out. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. That's why you pay those guys a lot of money. Not so that they can just kind of go with the flow of the team, but so that they can rise up when you need them and fix things. And he's been much more of a fixer the last couple years and this year than he has been in previous, iterations of Kirk. Let's see here. Anthony Guzzo says, Tuesday started with my dog Larry getting out of the yard. As we were looking for him, I got hit by a car.
What?
Jesus. I was able to jump enough out of the way to only take out the mirror.
Wow, I'm so hurt.
You can tell Judd he needs to toughen up because I didn't miss any work after I got hit by a car. Judd missed at least one show after an appendectomy.
Yeah. At least
Sissy.
one.
My hot take is that the Vikings will win out and take over first place with the Eagles dropping 2 of their last 3 games.
I hope he's okay.
Oh.
He's okay enough to send a
But I mean, he could be in a full
chirping tweet here, a chirping message.
Or he could have dictated
his
it.
thumb works fine. He's able to hold his phone and send that message.
He could have dictated it. He can't. Well, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're all right.
That sounds like insincere Judd to me.
No, I'm glad the guy's okay. Are you kidding? It's Christmas time, and he almost got taken out by a car.
You know what would make him feel better? A trip to Park Tavern, maybe a group outing. If you, in fact,
you know what?
Think of the different creative group outings you could hold at Park Tavern.
That is so true. And here's the best part: you can hold those any day of the year because have I mentioned Park Tavern open 365 days a year? That's right, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. It doesn't matter. You can bring your group, and guess what? They're going to make your life as easy as possible. So, guys, if you've got a party coming up, let's say your wife's birthday or your girlfriend's birthday, Park Tavern's the best place to gather, and it's this simple. Go to parktavern.net, parktavern.net. Cosmic Bowling, by the way. Cosmic Bowling, New Year's Eve, prizes awarded. I'm telling you right now, if you get cooped up in the house and you're like, you know what, we got to get out and do something, Park Tavern, it's a huge place. It's got 2 bars. It's got bowling. It's got great food and, of course, Surly and great beers as well. So check them out, parktavern.net, 952-929-6810 if you want to give them a call. But they will take care of you. They will do all the work, 952-929-6810.
It is time now, gentlemen. Thank you for the Feedback Friday on a Thursday, everyone. We'll do some more feedback on Mackie and Judd tomorrow. It's time for the random Viking of the week here. A battle of wits between Judd and either Declan or myself. This week, Declan has the random Viking of the week all queued up. And the random Viking of the week is presented by our friends at Livia. You can change your life going into 2023 like Judd did about a year and a half ago.
That's right. Dropped 40 pounds. And guess what? I've kept that weight off. And that's because it's a weight control program. It's not a diet program. It's a weight control. And if you are thinking, you know what, I'd like to drop some weight and do it for the holidays, and then by springtime, I want all my clothes to fit, all those clothes that don't fit, guess what? Save 50% right now. That's right, 50% off. It's this simple. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia, LIVEA.com. If you're in town here, you can go in and talk to a dietitian. But if you're not, guess what? It's this simple. Virtual appointments are an option. Again, livia.com, LIVEA.com. Start your weight loss journey and do it today and save 50% thanks to our friends at Livia.
Here's how it works. Declan will throw out a series of clues.
Mm-hmm.
Judd and I get up to 3 incorrect guesses each as we battle each other. We can ask Declan questions he can refuse to answer if he wants to.
It's true.
Judd has a 41-25 all-time lead in the random Viking of the week. The last 5 random Vikings are Warren Moon, Ed McDaniel, Stefan Diggs, Terrence Newman, and Chris Hovan. Judd won with Warren Moon yesterday, but Declan and I went on a nice little.
I think I got 3 of those, right? I got Terrence Newman, and I think I got. Did I get?
You got Hovan. Yep,
Okay,
and then previously Declan and I got Marcus Robinson and Gary Anderson.
Yeah, you guys went on a nice run there against me.
You had Jeff George, but then we got Sam Bradford and Mediu Williams.
Sam Bradford, I screwed that one.
That was one of the most epic fails of random Viking of the week.
It was like an 11-minute version.
Yeah.
That was on me.
Okay.
No Googling. You may use your notepad.
Huge Canucks fan, and I knew it.
All right. Let's do this.
I'm mad at myself. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a guess.
Okay.
Do it.
Can I just guess one?
Sure.
No,
Go for it if you want.
No one's ever done that. What's the earliest someone has ever gotten a random
Declan. Tavares Jackson, first one ever.
I got T-Jack on like 2 guesses.
Yep.
And Lesnar was like 3 or 4.
I'm going to do a Control F to make sure this one hasn't been. Okay.
Yeah, I keep doing that as well.
See, this is the problem. You guys know I don't know the list. Send me the list.
Just throw a clue out. Let's see. I think I know who it is.
I'm being skirted. I'm being circumvented.
This random Viking of the week played in 102 NFL games.
Yeah, I know who it is.
You do?
No. No idea.
This random Viking of the week, pretty good high school athlete, a 5-star coming out of high school.
Like a 5-star football recruit?
Yep.
Okay. Just want to be sure.
What other 5-star could he potentially be?
Well, it could have been like a 5-star of something else, and you're just trying
I got
pull
you.
a fast one.
Sure, that makes sense.
I sure wish I had the list of all the previous winners so I could mark them off.
I'll send it to you. I'll actually email it to you right now, so you have no excuses. Hold on. Let me email this to Judd. Check your Gmail.
All right. Hold on.
We good?
Random Vikings.
Okay.
This could be done off mic, but okay. This random Viking of the week averaged 23.5 points in high school playing basketball.
Good player.
Ran a little track, too.
Okay.
This random Viking of the week won a Super Bowl.
But not with the Vikings?
Correct. Not with the Vikings.
I got you. Sorry, folks. I should have done that. That's not very Christmassy of me.
Grow up, Judd.
Sports dad being a jerk.
This random Viking of the week. More high school accolades here. Was a USA Today All-American. Played in the Army All-American Bowl. Associated Press and Gatorade Player of the Year.
High school play like in his state or nationally?
Yeah. Well, Gatorade does the national one. He won the state one, and yeah, I guess he was the Gatorade Player of the Year too. Wow.
What? Wow.
Because of all that success, he was a true freshman in college. No red shirt. No red shirt.
Okay.
This random Viking of the week played in 6 playoff games.
Okay. Quite the resume here.
Mm-hmm.
But not a... I'll keep my comments to myself.
Super Bowl. Won a Super Bowl.
Let's see here. How do I want to give you? I have a couple options I want to go down here without giving away too much. This random Viking is no longer in the NFL, but is just 33 years old. So still a, relatively young man.
Wow. Wow.
This random Viking of the week, including playoffs, recorded 27 touchdowns.
Okay. All right.
Gotta position that. 7 touchdowns.
Can I ask if this player was drafted by the Vikings?
He was not.
This is really interesting. Really interesting.
No. 33.
I'm trying to think of this person. I can't Google anything. God dang it.
We don't think we've done this in random Viking of the week. I'm gonna give you the numbers he wore.
But not the teams, obviously.
Correct.
Okay.
15, 14, 18, 17.
15, 14.
18, 17.
Okay. Okay, is this one? I need to do a Control F to search if this one has been. Okay. Yeah, it has been.
So this guy won a Super Bowl. Who I'm thinking of.
I'm getting paranoid that I did the control fine. I'm just making sure too. That
But
this
was
guy
it
wasn't
30? But 33.
Oh no, you might have
hilarious.
picked one that's already been.
That'd be
Oh,
so
no.
funny.
Is it picked one that's already been?
Oh no.
No,
we're good. I don't
we're
think so.
good. This random Viking of the week had 37 touchdowns in college.
Is it Greg Jennings?
Greg Jennings.
No.
He's beyond 33, is my opinion. But, so how many in college?
37. Excuse me. Yeah, 37. 37 touchdowns.
37 touchdowns in college.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Boy, this is a tough one because I want to talk this out, but I don't want to give Judd any clues here too.
So I mentioned
Won a Super Bowl though.
he had in the NFL, I believe I said 27 touchdowns combined between postseason and regular season.
Yes.
0 with the Minnesota Vikings. 0 touchdowns with the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
So this is a.
Well, no, because he wore that number. I had another one, but he wore a different number.
This random Viking of the week holds his college's record in 3 pretty distinct categories for his position.
Jesus.
Okay. Nope. It's not that. That's already been one. Gosh, dang it.
15,
I'm like paranoid. It's just not on the list that you gave me.
18,
I'm like paranoid it is.
Oh, so you'd blame Phil?
I would
Like,
lie.
it's not
I mean,
unless-
it's,
so-
it's still
so you
on
would
Declan
blame-
mostly. But,
So you would
but yeah.
blame Phil? Okay. 6 playoff.
You know, you don't have to go too far to think about this random Viking of the week.
These clues.
Won a Super Bowl with the Patriots. Oh, we're down to music, see?
Wait, won a Super Bowl with New England?
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing.
And he's only 33 right
33 years
now?
old. Yep, turned 33 last month.
I'm trying. Well,
He is
trying
one
to
of
get-
us.
Yeah, no, I got that from your. Don't have to go too far.
Wow.
Stella's got to guess.
No, that's not right, Stella. Don't guess on Mike.
A lot of promise, obviously, with this guy's career and flamed out. Had a good start to it as well. First 4 years in the NFL were pretty strong.
The numbers are throwing me off. There's so many.
There's like 3 clues I want to give, but I just know
And he
they're
won
going
a
to give
Super
it
Bowl
away.
as a Patriot, and he got off to a good start, and he wears a receiver's number.
Had some off the field issues. And he loved this
Michael
miracle.
Floyd?
There you go. Wow. Great work, Joe.
I was gonna say he loves his
work.
kombucha tea.
Kombucha,
That was gonna be
yeah.
my next. That was gonna be my next.
I
clue.
sensed you were going there. I
Dang.
sensed you were going there.
That dude won a Super Bowl with the Patriots.
They stuck
He
him
was-
on the
Yeah.
roster, right? Yeah.
I don't even know.
What?
I don't even know.
That's a
I
great
was about to
one,
look
man.
if he was even active for that Super Bowl, but he did. He was on the Patriots roster. I'm not sure if he was.
I
He had
should
one
have. I
catch
think
that playoffs.
sometimes it's hard when you don't think about the clues that aren't given. But the fact that you didn't do anything about where he went to college meant that you didn't want. There was no conference because you wouldn't play at North.
Yeah.
You couldn't have said independent because it narrows it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's a good one. Michael Floyd. Yeah, he played one weird year with the Minnesota Vikings in 2017.
And what number was he here?
Number
18.
18.
18,
18. Yeah.
Yeah, he
So,
was
congrats to Judd.
just a beast at Crete and Durham Hall in St. Paul.
Amazing. Yeah, he was. There was some thought that maybe he would play with the Gophers, but I think that was during the Tim Brewster era.
Yeah.
So there wound up being
a hell of a player.
Zero chance of that happening.
His offers were from Michigan, Ohio State, Miami, Florida, and Notre Dame.
So the Gophers didn't even bother. They didn't even offer him.
If I'm not mistaken, he lived in Kyle Rudolph's basement, right?
That was going to be a last resort. I didn't think I'd get that far because that'd be also the giveaway. But
yeah, he had some major issues, but there it is. Wow, Judd, congratulations.
Thank you.
Santa Judd, correctly guessing Michael Floyd. And congrats to everyone in the YouTube comment section that got this answer 10 minutes ago and is pissed and yelling at their screen. So tomorrow we'll do our purple picks for the Saturday Christmas Eve game, and then Vikings Vent Line Christmas Eve style after Vikings Giants finishes up. We got you guys covered here on Purple Daily Vikings entertainment, where we just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. See ya.